The regular meeting. The regular meeting of the Chippewa County Board of Commissioners, April 11th, 2024, 4:30 p.m. The Pledge of Allegiance. Commissioner Savoy, please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Call, please.
Commissioner Lawrence,
Here.
Commissioner Savoy,
Here.
Commissioner Shackleton,
Here.
Commissioner Trainer,
Here.
Chairman Martin.
Here. Next, I'd entertain any additional deletions or approval of the agenda from.
I'll make a motion. We approve the agenda as presented.
Motion and support. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Approve of county board minutes from March 14th, 2024.
So move.
Support.
Motion and support to approve the minutes as presented. Any discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? Motion passes. Correspondence received in clerk's office, starting on page 11 in your packet.
Make a motion that we accept the correspondence and forward them to the appropriate committees.
Support. Support. Okay, Commissioner Trainer. Motion and support. Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. Public comment. We have a 15-minute limit per subject, 3 minutes per person. And we'll stick to that. We will not banter back and forth. We may very well and probably will discuss at the end during commissioners' comments. We'll discuss anything that we can do here. So do we have any takers? If you would state your name for the record. If you want to.
Mike McCarthy, Chippewa Loose Mackinac Conservation District. So I just wanted to present our 2023 annual report to you guys. All of you should have a copy. Then there highlights a lot of the work that we completed over the last year. We just hosted our annual meeting last Thursday at the Relational Brewery down in Cedarville. Page 2 is our impact for 2023, as you guys can see in there. Last year, we had $2.8 million come through the Conservation District for direct on-the-ground conservation work, with 50.62% of that work happening in Chippewa County. So that is a huge increase in amount of dollars coming through the conservation from last year, and that's due to the IRA funds that the government has passed. We are expecting to have very similar numbers again this year and probably next year as well, as those IRA funds will then be going away. We hired or we employed 14 people last year and worked on 21 separate grants. We did 276 site visits in Chippewa County alone, over 17,000 acres visited. And we provided 90 education outreach events in the county where 3,500 people were able to attend those. So we're busy people last year, but if you have any other questions, please feel free to let me know. The annual report has breakdowns of all of our different programs that are available to constituents of the county, and I'm available whenever you need.
Thank you. Anyone else?
You guys probably don't know who we are because we've asked you many, many, many times to come over to the health department and talk to us, and nobody's ever come over. So thank you, Kelly, for coming over, and thank you, Karen, for being so supportive of your nurses. We are your home health and hospice nurses. We've taken care of your loved ones in home health and in hospice. So we thought this was time to come and introduce ourselves to you because you've not taken the time to come and meet us. We're all professionals and we are your peers. My name is Cindy Armstrong. I'm an RN. I have been, which is a registered nurse. I've been at the health department for over about 22 years.
Terry Knowles, registered nurse. I've been at the health department for 29 years.
Joanne Saunders, registered nurse. I've been with the health department almost 16 years.
Justine Moms, I've been with the health department for 2 years.
So the reason we are here is because last fall you guys made a decision so after 80 plus years of having home health and hospice, you made the decision to close us down in hoping that someone else would come into the county and take us over or take it over. Whether they do or not, we don't know. It's done. But we found out at the same time you announced it at that meeting last fall. No one had the respect for us to let us know ahead of time that we were going to lose our jobs. This is our careers. So we found out the same time as the public found out that we were going to be closed. So we feel very disrespected. We feel that you guys have brushed us off like we're just nobody. But it's down to us 4 nurses now that it is running this county as far as home health and hospice. This is all you have left. Everybody else, when you announced that in the fall, they panicked and they left and they found other jobs because they had to. People have to work. So that's what happened. Except for us, we stayed. These 4 nurses, we stayed. We covered each other. We're short-staffed. We took care of the whole county, including Drummond Island and Sugar Island, Paradise, Eckerman. We've covered it all, us 4. We've not called in. We've not taken advantage of everything. We've worked hard for this county. So now all of a sudden, we're going to close 6 months earlier than what you projected. You projected the end of December. It's possible we were going to stay open that long. So now it's June 30th. We are losing our Blue Cross. We're losing what we could be adding to our retirement. We're losing our income. And if you think it's easy as a 59-year-old or a 60-plus-year-old to go and find a new nursing job and to start over, it's not easy. Everyone has their own set of skills. Like a teacher, you can't go and teach English if you're a science teacher. Everyone has their own set of skills, so it's not easy for us. So we are losing our jobs.
And it's nothing that we did. We did nothing wrong.
So every time you guys we've listened to your meetings and it's always like, well, we're short-staffed, we're short-staffed. That's not in fact why we're closing. We're closing because it was your decision to close. Not us. It's not on the nurses. So we asked a couple simple things. We asked for you guys
Can I
to
interrupt
pay
you for
out.
1 minute because
We
Well,
have 15 minutes
you're-
with all of us. So Cindy's
Yeah,
our
we have 15
spokesperson.
minutes.
3 minutes per person, 15 minutes total.
Right.
please.
Well, I don't think it's
Okay.
been 15.
No, I'm just saying, no, one of you 3 can go ahead and pick up where she's at. I have no problem with that.
We have 15 minutes to talk. So Cindy's been elected to be our spokesperson. So she's just going to finish up.
Do you guys have a
Am I
problem with
right
that,
with
really?
that?
Okay,
It-
thank you
Okay.
very much.
Thank you.
So we asked for a couple short little things. We asked for you guys to pay out our sick time because otherwise we would all call in. You know that. Why would you sit on sick time? So, and you granted that, but now it's coming with, well, if you stay to June 30th, or if you did this, not everybody can just ignore the fact that you need a job. So if you get a new job and your employer says, well, I want you to start June 1st, should this person get punished and not get their sick time paid out because they have to work and support their family? I don't think so. And another thing we're asking is for compensation for the last 6 months that you're taking away from us, because we're not going to be able to go and start a new career at the same vacation and at the same pay we're at now. So we are losing a lot. So we're asking, because you've already budgeted in our income for the rest of the year, we're asking you to pay our base pay until the end of December. I think that it would be fair. It would show respect towards your nurses because we have shown respect for this whole county.
And it's the right thing to do.
We have worked very hard, and we've worked through all this. We've worked through COVID. We've just been there doing everything. We're the ones that show up in the middle of the night when you have a family member that's sick or dying. We're the ones there, and we feel so devalued and disrespected by how this process is played out. It's so hurtful, and that's aside from the financial issues. After all the time we've devoted to this agency, just to feel this way is just awful.
And after the decision was made, we were the ones that had to go out and tell the patients in Chippewa County that we're not going to be able to keep servicing you. We are the ones who had to take the phone calls from the doctors, from the discharge planners, along with Karen. Not you guys. We had to make those calls. We had to tell those people. We had to tell the veterans that their time is going to be cut off. It's not an easy thing to do.
Again, we want to speak back to thank Karen and Kelly for the
Absolutely.
communication we've had and the support we've had. But it doesn't change our feelings about how disrespected and unappreciated we're feeling.
Finances aside.
Right,
Yeah.
absolutely.
So please do the right thing by us, because we have done the right thing by you guys. We stayed.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Yes, sir.
Nobody else? Before I even get there, in solidarity with our nurses, support them, gentlemen, and I hope you do as well, because you're elected officials and that's your constituents talking to you. Mid-Michigan too. Our nurses are going on strike there. To support, for a living wage for the contract that they signed up for. But anyway, that's not why I'm here. Getting back to Kelly, I'll give this to her. This discussion I had last time, UP engineers, this is the list of the licensed individuals from Laura. As you'll notice, I'm one of 4 in the county that's licensed to survey. I'm also a federally certified surveyor, and yet I would argue through politics that I'm not involved with the remonumentation program. That's millions of dollars, tax dollars, that I'm not involved with as a credentialed individual that could, help facilitate the program. And I'm offering to do it pro bono in front of God and witnesses here to help out. And getting back, this is the money you guys are spending. These are the people you're spending the money on. As long as you keep it in Chippewa County, that's fine. And to that point, if you're going to do business with an organization that claims they're an engineering, survey, and architectural firm with no engineer, no architect, or surveyor on staff, that's in violation of the occupational code, which I've included, and Kelly and I have talked about this. So I will give this to Kelly. Just as a review, these are the engineers that you have in the county. Most of them are no longer active. I would guess that most of them are with the Army Corps of Engineers. Jeff Mudrock is the individual I work with at the SIDOT group. He will tell you he's the one that kind of clued me into this gentleman, practicing without a license. So again, I'm with the society, the chapter representative for my society, and I'll bring it to those professionals in due course. But I would hope the county would, prefer to do business with licensed individuals in compliance with the state law. To wrap up on the title thing that was in the last meeting, I still want to follow through with that. And I want to take the information that Patty Weinreis has provided, move that remonumentation funding. If I could get invited to one of the meetings or something like that, I'd also like to volunteer, I think, Mr. Martin and Mr. Shackleton with the city in resolving the reclaimed bottomland issue there. But I won't take any more of your time, but please support our nurses, gentlemen. Thank you.
Hi, Lori Miller from Nevis Island. I just wanted to thank Mr. Trainer and Mr. I'm not sure if pronounced your name, Lawrence, for coming to the UPTA meeting last week. I realize not all of you can be at one meeting at one time for the Open Meetings Act. I wanted to thank you all for hopefully reading our letters. I encourage you to read that huge study that was done by MDOT. It was done by MSU at MDOT's request. It talks about all 3 islands in Chippewa County, and it has some good information in there. And it makes no sense that UPTA is going backwards when MDOT funds them and has asked for more services. A recent example on the island, just this past week, we had a storm. We have a 92-year-old lady still without a phone over a week. And I don't know, other people got their phones turned on, but you know, I'm assuming AT&T can't get to her because of the ferry schedule. The health department, I noticed that they did exclude Nevis Island from their list because they couldn't come to our island because of the schedule. We used to have that service. We used to have a lot of services. There are, I looked at the numbers last night, and there are approximately 188 non-homestead properties on the island. I was shocked at that, actually. That's 3 times as many of people that actually live there year-round. That's a lot of taxes money that you guys will be losing, the township will be losing. So I really encourage you to pay attention to this. I know you feel like you can't do anything, but you know, talk to the people in Lansing and let them know that this is important to the whole county, not just the few people that live on the island. I think UPTA needs to be looking forward, not back. We need to be looking to help Chippewa County with funds and not looking, like I said, looking backwards and providing minimal services. I don't know if you read my letter, but it affects the education of our students. It affects the businesses on and off the island, especially the Cozy that we frequent a lot, and other businesses in Chippewa County, restaurants in particular. It affects families and property owners being able to get to their property. It just affects a lot of people in a lot of different ways. And I just hope that you'll continue to give us your support. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else? That's.
Thank you. I'm Phyllis Reed. I'm from Nevis Island, and I'm part of the Nevis Island Improvement Association. I introduced myself last month. I wanted to give you some facts. And I know that I believe that you can make a difference because you can, just by your attitudes and by who you might contact for us. 10 years ago, we had 4 more daily runs than we do now. 10 years ago, we had nearly 100 year-round residents. And now we have around 69 full-time residents. In the suburb, we have double and triple runs. They're very common. Sometimes the lines go all the way back to not the road, but to the road that goes this way, around the corner. That's a lot of people. Sometimes it takes an hour to get across because of how many runs there are that are extra. So if you're trying to leave or get back on the island with a doctor appointment, you are really not able to. I wanted to emphasize that we have 188 properties that are non-homestead. This is a big tax base for the county. That's not people, that's properties. These properties that are non-homestead are visited 3 and 4 times. Families go through. They don't, like, one person owns the property, but their cousins come up for 2 weeks. Then their other aunt and uncles come up for 2 weeks. And so you don't have just one person. You sometimes have families with 20 people that take turns coming up. Makes a huge difference. Sometimes our numbers in the summertime could swell easily up to 500. We need not to just sustain. We're barely sustaining. When they pull back the runs, they know very much how that affects us. They know. We've told them. We've given them the facts. We have 2 resorts. The resorts do not know what they're going to do with a 6 p.m. curfew. We have 2 vacation rentals already, and we have 3 more vacation rentals being built or rebuilt. The people who come for vacation rentals don't come to sit on the island at 6 o'clock. They come to be able to go to any place in our beautiful Upper Peninsula to visit. And they can't do that. They have to be home by 6. It's hard to get rentals when you have to tell them, and oh, by the way, you can't leave the island past 6 o'clock. Someone else wants to start another small business, taking their sawmill off the island, which is on a trailer, about 3 times a week, and to contract with people to cut up their wood the way they want it cut up, length and thickness and all that. But when you get started on a job like that, you don't just say, I'll be back tomorrow. You want to finish it up, and 6 p.m. curfew won't work. All these businesses cannot be expected to be back by 6 o'clock. We also do not support education. 10 years ago, we had 10 children going to school. Now we have 2.
Ma'am,
And
ma'am, I have to
okay,
cut you off.
and
I'm
we ask the
sorry.
people why, and they say we can't bring our children here because we don't support education. I want to let you know it makes a difference what you do. And we care about our island. Everybody does on the island. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Another gentleman. No, you're fine. You're already here.
Okay. I didn't see. Okay, my name's Simon Langner. I live on Nevis Island. Earlier today, when I was thinking about what I was going to say, I wanted to thank you for extending that home health care. But I support the nurses. I really get kind of emotional. It's always been people like that, nurses, that have shown the love of a mother at my deepest times of loss. I was a caregiver to my stepdad. He was 86. That was about the time we started to lose our home health care on the island because of the ferry service. Thank God I didn't have to go through that with my wife. That was kind of bittersweet. She just never came home from the hospital with her illness. I remember how important it was. They came out to the house, worked with physical therapy with my stepdad. That really helped out a lot. And thank you. I would like to add that I've been reading some news reports about the ferry service and that, and Pete Peramsky keeps singing that same tune about it's the Coast Guard, it's not him, it's not the budget. Yeah, I'm afraid. There's this young lady who's got ties to the island. She did work for the Bush administration. She's pretty smart. My understanding is there's no money because he's not looking for it. And I think that's a problem. I'm gonna end here, but my fear is a lot of us are gonna be spending money on legal bills, including the taxpayer who's gonna have to pay for the lawsuits after this is all done. And that's just not gonna be good for anybody. But thank you all for listening to me. Appreciate it.
Sure. Either one. My name's John Model. I was made aware of the home health and hospice closure program 2 days ago. My mother-in-law is currently in home health care. It's going to be some real problems for elderly people if that hospice house is closed. We're looking at a $300,000 house. And it appears as though it's going to be closed. I have no idea how we're going to go through and keep that running. In the discussions that I've had in the 2 days, I understand that there are at least 4 doctors that are leaving here within the next few months. Another thing that I've been told is that if the hospital discharges a patient and that patient goes the wrong way and has to come back, that the insurance company will not cover that patient's care. And I don't know for sure if this is correct or not, but it's something that we better look into, because some people are going to really be in trouble, especially if the doctors go through and find out that we have no hospice care here. If you're going to get some new doctors interested in coming here, I think this is a major point that may turn quite a few of them away. Now, this is just my opinion, and it's only been 2 days, so I can't come up with anything better, but I don't know. Thank you for hearing me, and let's hope that we can do something with the ball house. Thank you.
Marta Lalone, Chippewa County. Sault Ste. Marie. I was just going to email this little note to everybody, but I'm so annoyed right now that I'm going to tell it to you now. The lack of microphones is worse than it's ever been in here. You're speaking to the community. The community is sitting back here. They can't hear they can't hear what the people are saying up here because many are soft-spoken. There used to be a microphone here, I thought. And then apparently you guys don't have them anymore either. Not a word can be heard back here. I will have to go home and watch it on Zoom to hear anything. It's annoying and it should be corrected. Thank you.
Thank you.
Excuse me, am I allowed to come back up? and talk for a minute?
Yeah, you guys still have,
I just wanted to direct the hospice house so that it's very, very clear. The hospice house is not Hospice of Chippewa County. It is a 5-bed facility where residents can stay and live out their days, but that is not Hospice of Chippewa County. I've been doing this for 29 years, and there are many people who want to stay in their home and have hospice in their home. So the perception in the public is that if hospice house stays open, everybody's happy. And that is just not the case. It's full. It's been full for a month now. So all the other residents of Chippewa County, they're going to be in their homes, and that's where they're going to pass with our care, whoever's care, whoever comes along. I just don't want that misconception out there because I've been hearing it for at least a year now, and that just simply is not hospice. Hospice is provided by a nurse, a social worker, home health aide, chaplain. It takes a team for hospice. And we love the hospice house. We love the Pennington house. We love White Wilds. It's been fabulous for those that cannot be taken care of in their home. But that is not Hospice of Chippewa County. Thank you.
thank you. Any further public comment? Anthony, do we have public comment out there? Any hands up?
We do not.
No hands up?
No hands are up.
No hands are up. Last call. Okay. Going once, going twice. I'll declare public comment closed. Administrator's report, page 12.
The usual reports on there from the Sheriff's Department, Animal Control, Veterans Affairs, and the Health Department. If you have any questions, please let me know.
Any comments? Next. The business resolution 2024-07.
Make a motion to support resolution 2024. Again, it's very important. They're going to cut a lot of the funding the state has for agriculture, environmental assistance program, and that involves, and everything that involves like building permits and all that. It's very important. I did meet with them and suggested we have a resolution. Here it is.
I'll support it.
Motion and support. Any discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Commissioner Lawrence,
Yes.
Commissioner Savoy,
Yes.
Commissioner Shackleton,
Yes.
Commissioner Trainer,
Yes.
Chairman Martin.
Yes. Resolution passes. 2024-08 National Public Safety Telecommunicators Week, April 14th through the 20th, 2024, page 23 in your packet.
So move the passage. I'll support.
Motion and support for the National Public Safety Telecommunications Week. Any discussion for a roll call vote?
Commissioner Lawrence,
Yes.
Commissioner Savoy,
Yes.
Commissioner Shackleton,
Yes.
Commissioner Trainer,
Yes.
Commissioner Martin.
Yes. Next, resolution 2024-09, county restatement of governmental, that is 457B retirement.
I'll move it.
Support. And support. Any discussion? Roll call vote.
Commissioner Lawrence,
Yes.
Commissioner Savoy,
Yes.
Commissioner Shackleton,
Yes.
Commissioner Trainer,
Yes.
Chairman Martin.
Yes. Resolution passed. Resolution 2024-10, Health Department restatement of governmental retirement plan. Page 27.
I move passage. Support.
Motion and support. Any discussion on the 457B retirement? Roll call vote, please.
Commissioner Lawrence,
Yes.
Commissioner Savoy,
Yes.
Commissioner Shackleton,
Yes.
Commissioner Trainer,
Yes.
Chairman Martin.
Yes. Resolution passed. And so, next, standing committee reports. Personnel equalization and appointment. Commissioner Lawrence, sir.
We had a regular meeting on April 5th at the Chippewa County Courthouse, 10:30 a.m. It was moved by Commissioner Savoy, supported by Commissioner Shackleton to approve the agenda. So move.
Support.
Motion and support. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
There was no public comment offered at the time. The committee was updated on the equalization director by equalization director Dulcie Ranta, who provided information on the county's personal and real property totals, equalized valuations, real and assessed valuations, real, all which are part of the L4024 report, which included agricultural, commercial, industrial, residential, timber cutover, and development. Committee also reviewed the 14.21% increase in taxable values for 2024. Equalization Director Ranta asked the committee to approve the post-board review, equalized and certified figures for the L4024. Committee discussed the June truth and taxation upcoming public hearing, and then discussion followed. It was moved by Commissioner Shackleton, supported by Commissioner Savoy, that the 2024 equalized and certified values, tentative taxable values presented by Director Ranta be approved as reported, and that all required forms regarding the same be completed and filed as required by the state to establish a truth and taxation public hearing for the June 13th, 2024 meeting, Chippewa County Board On a voice vote, the motion carried and I so move.
Support.
Motion and support. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion passes.
For no committee comments, no committee or chairman's comments, we adjourned at 10:21 a.m. So, do we have to move for that?
Motion, yeah.
Okay.
Support. I'll
Support.
support it. Either way. Motion and support to accept the minutes as presented. Any discussion?
Just one.
Yes.
I think it's interesting to note that what we basically found out here was that real estate values in Chippewa County went up 14% in 1 year. They expect it to do the same for at least the next year. And that's an average between commercial and residential's on the higher side, with commercial being on the lower side. So residential real estate is, prices are increasing quickly. And it's good if you're a property owner, it's bad if you want to be. So.
Into the area. All right. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion passes. Next, then, we have finance claims and accounts, Commissioner Savoy.
The regular meeting of Chippewa County Board of Commissioners Finance Claims and Accounts Committee was held on Tuesday, April 9th, 2024 here at the courthouse. The meeting was called to order at 4:30 p.m. Approval agenda moved by Commissioner Trainer, supported by Commissioner Shackleton to amend and approve the agenda, adding 5B Gator Kennels, and a voice vote motion carried. I would so move.
Support.
Motion and support. Any discussion? On the dog kennels? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion passes.
We have public comment, correspondence, and information items, no action necessary. Moved into agenda items, Health Department, Home Health and Hospice. It was moved by myself, supported by Commissioner Martin, to approve and authorize the closure of Home Health and Hospice effective June 30th, 2024, and to pay out the Home Health Hospice full-time employees sick time plus additional $500 if they stay till June 30th. 2024 closure on voice vote motion carried. I will so move.
Support. Motion and support, discussion.
Just real quick, I'm sure we're going to have a lengthy discussion here, but I recall the discussion and the motion being that they would get paid sick time regardless of if they left prior to June 30th, but the $500 was just an added little bonus for anybody who did stay. Isn't that?
That's correct.
Yeah.
I don't think that's the way this is written. Is that now? I mean, am I understanding that this is not written that way? Right? So, because it says so, okay, is everybody?
I think you're correct in that basically you have to, the way this, if it's worded, now that you pointed that out,
Yeah.
that you have stated June 30th to get the sick leave payout, and that is not the case.
No, that's not what we did. We had a long discussion. Again, we're gonna probably rehash a lot of that. But we decided, taking into account many of the things that we heard tonight, that we would want to be able to provide sick time to be paid out, even if they left before June 30th. But we also said, hey, if anybody can hang in there and stay with us until June 30th, we'll give you a $500 bonus. That's the way I recall the discussion. I thought that's what the motion was.
I thought that's the way it was discussed. It may not have been written down that way. But I think you're correct.
Okay.
It was my understanding the motion was as written, but I'm not opposed to it.
Okay. Okay, well, however you want to proceed, but that was my understanding. I think that's what we ought to do.
Okay, can we?
Would you like me to just offer it as an amendment?
Maybe.
Let me amend the motion that the sick time would be paid out from this point forward for anyone who separates. However, the $500 bonus, it's a small amount, but it's just a little stipend to say thank you for hanging in there till the end of June. And that's what I thought we were voting for in the first place, and I'll offer that as an amendment.
I'll
No
support. Go ahead, you can have this one.
Amended motion and support. Any more discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
Office of Emergency Services, Sue Tower, moved by Commissioner Shackleton.
Excuse me, point of order. I think we just voted on the amendment. We didn't vote on the
Oh,
entire.
okay, so we gotta go back. Sorry, Chairman Savoy. We'll go back and get it right.
As
here.
amended.
All right, so
Well, and then
now we vote on,
would you like to discuss that now, or did you want to wait till the end?
Let's wait till-
You want to wait till the end? All right.
all right, so we're voting on this item as amended.
Okay.
Correct, Kelly? All right. Okay, all those in favor of the agenda item health department, home health care hospice program closure date, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes as amended.
Okay, now, Office of Emergency Services, Sue Tower, was moved by Commissioner Shackleton, supported by Commissioner Trainer to approve and authorize the U.S. government real property for site lease for the Sioux Tower between Customs, Border Protection, and Chippewa County Emergency Services. On the voice vote, motion carried. I would so move.
Support.
Motion and support for U.S. government lend for real property of $4,470.15 annually. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
Rave Emergency Notification Systems, moved by Commissioner Lawrence, supported by Commissioner Trainer, to approve and authorize the Rave Emergency Notification Systems for an annual fee of $4,000 and a one-time $1,000 setup fee. On the voice vote, motion carried. I would so move.
Support. Motion and support for the Rave Emergency Notification System. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion passes.
Office of Emergency Services Pager Group Activation Fee, moved by Commissioner Shackleton, supported by Commissioner Martin, to approve and authorize county expenditure for a pager talk group for Ken Ross EMS to be reimbursed. On voice vote, the motion carried. I would so move.
Support.
Motion and support for a $1,500 county expenditure for pager talk. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
Information Systems Prosecutors Carpool Case Tracking Contract, moved by Commissioner Shackleton, supported by Commissioner Lawrence, to approve and authorize signature for the contract between Prosecution Attorneys Association of Michigan and Chippewa County Prosecutor's Office for Carpool Solutions to provide case tracking and workflow. On voice vote, motion carried. I would so move.
Support. Motion and support. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
Information Systems Cyber Incident Response Plan, moved by Commissioner Lawrence, supported by Commissioner Martin, to approve Chippewa County Cyber Incident Response Plan. The plan is confidential and not FOIA eligible. On a voice vote, motion carried. I would so move.
Support.
Motion and support for the cyber incident response plan. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
Information Systems Policy 505 update, moved by Commissioner Trainer, supported by Commissioner Lawrence, to approve policy number 505 to provide telephone, laptops, tablets update, and new policy number 507 computer network. As presented on a voice vote, motion carried. I would so move.
Support.
Motion and support for the telephones, laptops, and tablets. Any discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? Motion passes.
Information Systems Sheriff Building and Animal Control Building Security and Access Control System at County Building and Courthouse, moved by Commissioner Martin, supported by Commissioner Trainer, to approve the release of RFPs for these building security access control systems. On a voice vote, motion carried. I would so move.
Support.
Motion and support. Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion passes.
Sheriff's Office K-9 fund. It was moved by Commissioner Lawrence, supported by Commissioner Trainer to approve and authorize establishing a K-9 special fund in the general ledger as requested on voice vote. Motion carried. I would so move.
Support.
Motion and support for the K-9 fund. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
Sheriff's Office Stone Garden funding, $135,500, moved by Commissioner Shackleton, supported by Commissioner Trainer to accept the Stone Garden funding as presented on voice vote. Motion carried. I would so move.
Support.
Motion and support for the Stone Garden funding. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
Animal Control Robertson Fence Company, moved by Commissioner Martin, supported by Commissioner Lawrence to approve the fencing at animal shelter by Robertson Fence Company and to waive the county purchasing policy on voice vote. Motion carried. I would so move.
Support.
Motion and support for the Robinson Fence Company Incorporated and waiving the county's purchasing policy to the amount of $6,719. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
Animal Control Gator Kennels, moved by Commissioner Lawrence, supported by Commissioner Trainer to approve the purchase of 8 gates from Gator Kennels as presented on voice vote. Motion carried. I would so move.
Support.
Motion and support for the gates. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
Treasurer's Office, and moved by Commissioner Shackleton, supported by Commissioner Trainer to approve and authorize signature for 5-year renewal of the Title Check LLC contract with the county treasurer as presented for partial rates for administrative fees and full searches for a repeat searches on voice vote. Motion carried. I would so move.
Support.
Motion and support for the LLC renewal. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
Chippewa Loose Macdon Community Action Senior Services Program millage renewal, moved by Commissioner Trainer, supported by Commissioner Martin to approve the Senior Services Program millage renewal proposal for August 2024 election as presented on a voice vote. Motion carried. I would so move.
Support.
Motion and support for CLM. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
Administration bid summaries for copier machines, moved by Commissioner Shackleton, supported by Commissioner Lawrence to approve the low bid from National Office Products for Public Defender's Office and for the Clerk's Office as presented on voice vote. Motion carried. I would so move.
Support.
Motion and support. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Copiers for the clerk and public defender's office.
Claims and accounts, moved by Commissioner Shackleton, supported by Commissioner Trainer to recommend approval of the March county bills and payroll, general claims, other fund claims, payroll, and health department claims and payroll. All total claims on voice vote. Motion carried. I would so move.
Support.
Motion and support to pay the bills. Any discussion?
We have to abstain on this one, man. Abstain.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Committee comments. Normally I don't read the committee comments as we only have to present the motions, but in this case, I'm going to read it. Commissioner Martin spoke about home health and hospice and how heartbreaking it is for the health department and the staff about closing this program, noting that the county kept it going as long as possible. He thanked the staff that we did the best that we could do, and that it is very disappointing, but that is not from a lack of trying to keep this program going. Chairman comments, I spoke and reiterated that it is a sad, tough day to take the lead on making this program closure motion, and it's a sad day for the counties and for the citizens and for the health department. It was moved by Commissioner Lawrence, supported by Commissioner Shackleton to adjourn. The meeting was adjourned at 5:04 PM. And I so move that you accept this and report as presented.
Support.
Motion and support to accept finance claims and accounts committee meeting of April 9th, 2024 as presented. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Okay, next, we have Commissioner report on meetings as board representatives and general communication.
I'll go. This is for comments.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, I'd like to address some of the things that was said here tonight. And as I said Tuesday night, it's a sad day. And it's a sad day because this county, for over 10 years, of 83 counties in Michigan that kept home health and hospice running, that I'm aware of. And we did it because we thought how important it is. But I also want to say that when we lose a million or $1.4 million a year, it's going to have an impact on the mandated services that this county has to provide. The county clerk, the treasurer, the prosecutors, the jail, the deputies, the courts. And we cannot have a deficit budget and maintain a program that we're not obligated to pay. So reality is caught up with us, and other counties seen this coming years ago. I've been with the county for 47 years this year, as a deputy, as undersheriff, as sheriff, and as a commissioner. And not one time have I refused to meet with the constituent, not one time. I just recently met with someone for Drummond. I met with someone for Rayburn. I met with someone from the Sioux, and I did that on my own time. And not one single time have I been asked to meet with the nurses, nor have I even been relayed a message to meet with the nurses, not once. And if I was, I would have met with you. And I can tell you, I've never refused to meet with the constituent, 47 years. No one has asked me to meet with the nurses. And if we were asked, it could only be 2 commissioners, because we would be in violation of the law if there were 3. But I've never been asked. Now, it's the other ones could speak for themselves. And I know how sad it is, because early in my careers, in the late 70s and the early 80s, I've been laid off 3 times with the county. I got no benefits, I got nothing. And I had little babies to support. You can find a job in late 70s and early 80s. It was tough going. So I know that feeling. As far as budget, we budgeted to try to maintain this program through 2024. And it's come to our attention and recommendation that we can't make it to the end of the year. And that's why we're closing early. And you think we already budgeted that. That's deficit budgeting. We're losing 1.4 million this year running the program. So the money isn't allocated, it's deficit spending. And it's having an impact on other county services. So some of your information isn't accurate. As far as being disrespected, there's no board member here disrespected the nurses. We've said from day one, we're proud. You know, I look at this, we've hung on longer than we probably could have hung on or should have hung on, because we care and we know the value of it. I lost my wife, I lost my mother, I lost my sister, I lost my dad, all in hospice and services that you provide in the hospice home. So I know the value of it. I support the hospice home financially. every year. So it's not like I'm sitting up here, I don't care. We just can't continue to throw money at something that we're not mandated to do. And there are other agencies that will come in. We're not, there's gonna be some bumps in the road. But 82 counties went through this. We're the 83rd, we're the last one. So I just want the record clear. No one's asked me to meet, not one of you nurses have asked me. And not anybody has said the nurses want to meet with me, because I would have been there.
We have to go through our county administration.
This isn't a debate. You had your public comment. So, I mean, you ask a constituent, you don't have to go through any administration to ask to talk to me. I list my cell phone for public, and I get calls every day, and and if I can't answer my phone, I always return my messages. No one can accuse me of that. And as a citizen, you have the right to pick up your phone and call a county commissioner or your state rep, whoever you want, but I haven't been asked. So that's offensive to me to think that after 47 years, I meet with people on my own time. I don't get paid for it, and I willingly do it.
Mr. Shackleton, sir.
Thank you. I think I hear what you're saying, that you felt that you weren't as valued or respected through this. And I think, we have to hear that, understand it, and get our arms around it. I think it might honestly come as a surprise to most of us up here, because every time we've spoken about home health and hospice over the last few years, it's been with admiration, respect, and gratitude for everybody over there. Perhaps you haven't seen the meetings, I don't blame you, but that is the way that this commission has looked at the situation for as long as I can remember, quite frankly. Our representatives are, your contact and our contact is really the department head, Karen and Kelly. And they give us feedback from you folks that we need to know about, and you get it the other way. And we get recommendations from them. And we give them recommendations about how to make sure that you're supported. And we have supported, I think, the nurses. We've approved union contracts. We've kept the program going for many more years than any other county, that you've heard. And we've always been very proud of being, we wear it as a badge of honor that we're the last county to have home health and provide such a wonderful service, to the people in our county. But things do change eventually, and eventually it is going to happen that we can just no longer do it. And I think we all know that. I think you knew that. And I think that when I proposed a resolution or an amendment that we try to keep the program open through the end of the year, it was also with the understanding that if we can't, we can't. If the wheels fall off, then we're not going to be able to continue. Well, the wheels are falling off, and we're giving you 3 months notice that the program's going to be closing. In the meanwhile, everybody's working diligently to address the needs of the patients and to transfer them to those providers that are coming in. We have Northwoods, we have residential, we have McLaren, to name a few, all of which are hiring, desperately trying to hire and expand in Chippewa County. I spoke myself with, help me, the director at Hospice House. And she told me that they're going to be fine. She anticipates the transition to be fine out there with new hospice providers. home hospice is another subject. We're also talking to Hospice of Michigan that provides services in most of the state. And working and they're showing interest. So we are, believe me, I have not spent, I probably not lost more sleep over anything than this particular program since I've been on the commission. And Cindy, you know that you and I have talked on the phone many times, and I've made myself available to you anytime that you wanted to talk about it and talk about your concerns. I was happy to do so. Wasn't all, again, not always able to give you all the answers and all the things that you'd like to have. But I think the most important part to know is that this county commission has supported both the nurses and the rest of the staff, and we're grateful. We want to, we care about our community, and that's why we've absorbed, oh my gosh, a couple $1 million in losses over the last few years, hoping desperately there's a way to turn this around. There isn't. It's time that other providers and who are showing interest, who are active in our community, and who are trying to grow their organizations in our community, that we step aside and let them do it. So to everyone there, I'm sorry that this program is coming to an end, but thank you for all that you did for the county and for the people in this county.
Scott, we weren't asking you to keep it open. We were asking you to consider us as the nurses or some kind of severance or compensation for losing our jobs. That's what we were asking.
Sure.
Yeah, I can answer that. I think we're actually giving you more than we ever have during any layoff that we've ever had. I don't think we've ever given people 3 months notice that this is coming. I don't think we pay out sick time. I don't think we've ever provided a $500 bonus if you stay through the end of it. I wish we could do a 6 month, but my understanding is that somewhere around maybe $400,000 of taxpayer. Okay, well, let's just take that number. That's $200,000 of taxpayer money. And I don't think there's support for that. Yeah, it's hard, it's unfortunate. It'd be a precedent we've never set. We have laid off employees in the past. We've never paid 6 month severance pay. And this isn't, I hope you don't think that the commission is just cold, callous, and doesn't care. We care greatly about you, about our community, and about our job of taking care of the Chippewa County government. And we're doing the best we can.
Thank you, Mr. Shackleton. Commissioner Trainer, sir.
I just got to say that I don't collect a dime for all the meetings that I've attended, no mileage, no wages. And if I hear about a meeting, I go to it. And if you ladies would have told me you had a meeting, I would have been there.
We've asked our health officer many, many times to have you guys come and speak at our meetings. I don't know where the communication went wrong, but we had asked many times for one of you guys to come over, and Kelly always came, but not one of you came.
If I would have been asked, I would have been there if I got the message.
Well, I guess
I'll
next time
guarantee
I'm
you.
laid off, I'll have to come and ask you personally then to come and talk to us.
You do that, because I'll be there. I don't turn in mileage to any of my meetings. I don't get paid for attending the meetings. It's because I care what's going on in the county, and I'm trying to do the most that I can to keep the county running. And I go to the meetings of the other guys just to see what's going on there. I figure that's what I got elected to do, so that's what I spend my time doing. I had 97 meetings last year, so I thought that was a pretty good count for my first year in office. And I'm running ahead of that pace this year. I pay for the Drummond Ferry. I don't turn in any slips for doing that one. I've been there 10 times. But they keep asking me to come back over and help them. And now I'm helping Nevish Island. I've been asked by them to come over. And I've helped represent them at the UPTA meeting. And I'll continue doing it. As long as they ask me, I'm gonna do it. And I'll back you nurses no matter what, so.
Until we ask. You're not backing us right now. It's really hard at our age to go and start another career. You're ending our jobs. So we're asking for a severance package. Maybe it doesn't have to be 6 months, but it should be a little more than $500.
But one thing I did do, I got on the phone and I asked every hospice provider in the UP, I called them all, that we're gonna need help here in Chippewa County and the upper half of the Lower Peninsula. I called every one of them. And at least we got Northwoods bit right off the bat, and once they did it, put an ad in the paper, that brought in 3 more. So I'm not lazy. I gotta give myself credit on that end. I wanna see this county survive and everything in it. I guess that's all I've got.
Thank you, Commissioner Trainer. Commissioner Lawrence.
Yes, I have a couple items. I'll address the home health. It's a tough decision. Nobody wanted to make it. We had to make it. That's what we're here for. There was a long time ago, the county had the hospital because we needed a hospital. Now we have a private group in here taking care of that. We have other entities taking care of home health now. We as government are not to be a competitor to private enterprises, as far as I see it. And there becomes a point where you have several groups in there and nobody's making enough to make it work. And I really think that part of our issue is we're hindering other interested parties in coming in as long as we keep the program going. We were advised that we weren't going to be able to continue the program, so we chose to end it at the end of December of this year. And we obtained fresh information that said we're really not going to be able to pass this and keep this going past June 30th. So we have to end it. As far as the severance issue, I think it's I don't think that would be fair to our other county employees that have been separated in the past and will separate in the future. That said, I do want to encourage all of you to not hesitate to contact each and every one of us individually when you have issues. It doesn't matter if you're in my district or not. I field those calls from other people. I've fielded, you know, we have people all over the county that have interest all over the county. So you don't have to be in one of our districts to get a hold of us. I don't know of anybody here that would refuse to talk to any citizen in Chippewa County about something they had an issue with. So other than that, I would like to address real quick, Marta, I think you have an excellent concern. I would like to see us, you know, if we have folks that need to hear, I don't think that'll be an issue to get a better, you know, improvement on the sound system for you. I think it's important. Let's see, and then the last thing I'd like to talk about is it's a little bit departure from what we've been talking about. There is a resolution supporting the tunnel for line 5. I would like us to reconsider. This is something from 2022, which would have been before my term on the county commission. I have asked Kelly for some information. She's kindly provided it for me. And I would like us to consider this in our next commission meeting. Take up this resolution and support line 5. We're the only county in the UP that hasn't passed it. And we are the only county in where there's I believe the whole tip of the mix passed it too. I have studied line 5 at the university and when I took the hazardous materials and fire science courses. They do a tremendous job for safety, and I think they deserve our support. I also think we need to support our residents in the UP that are depending on that propane to get up here. So if we could put that on the agenda, look forward to that. I'd like you guys to check that out and see if you can support it in our next meeting. Yes,
real quick, so I'm gonna go off topic, as long as you went off topic.
Sure.
Here's my concern with line 5. I'm not necessarily opposed to the tunnel. But because what's under there now is twice the thickness of what goes from St. Ignace all the way down to Manistee. I mean, all the way, having smelled from 70 miles away, the oil of the Kalamazoo spill that happened in a river. Because what is it? It's what? 0.25 thickness under the straits. But when you come out and you go to St. Ignace, you go that way, it's a 1/10. My concern is that's where the blowout's going to be. And again, that's all going to go right into Lake Michigan. I'm more concerned about that. I think the tunnel would certainly mitigate any spill issues under the straits. But I would go a step further.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So real quick, we had actually talked about this resolution when I was chair years ago, and it was a very new subject. There wasn't a lot of information to be had, and we just didn't do anything on it. I think it's great that it's coming back now. I think the information's available. I think even the Department of Environmental Quality has done studies and found it to be safe. And I think it's very appropriate that we do that resolution. And I'd like to support it when it comes up. And just one more thing real quick. When I was chair, we actually used to have our meetings next door in the courthouse, Marta. And you want to talk about not being able to hear. I was a reporter for WSOO radio, sitting in the front row, having no idea what those people were doing. And we moved the meetings over here to provide a better opportunity for you to hear. But if we can make it better than it is today, then let's try to do that too.
Today was worse than usual, so I don't know what the issue was.
Yeah, well, mine wasn't on, and I don't know what happened to the one.
That one's on.
No, the one, didn't we have one on the podium last month?
Yeah, there was.
I think sometimes if the commissioners could be reminded to project a little bit so that the folks can hear us, that would be helpful as well. Usually you can hear me, I think, because I've got kind of a big mouth, so. All right, I'm done.
I'm just used to people not wanting to hear what I have to say anyway, so
Your home life.
That's all I had. I just would like to give you guys some chance to mull that over, think about your concerns, and then have some discussion with it at a later time.
That and also, is this, have we checked into the unlicensed surveyors at all? Have we had legal look at that? I mean, I cannot believe we would use unlicensed surveyors. I just cannot fathom that.
I followed up with Mr. Ulrich's question about who signed the documents for the sheriff's building, and it's not the gentleman that he was questioning. It is a licensed one that signed our documents on the building.
Okay. Is that just,
If I could add, I'm gonna follow up with that, but the point being that according to the ordinance that I provided to Kelly, we'll talk about, they need to provide a licensed individual at that location in Sault Ste. Marie to bring licensed individuals and high-paying professionals to the community. So that's the point I'm trying to make.
okay. They said, so we want to do things the right way.
And the liability. I mean, you don't want to carry the liability of.
Correct. Okay,
not-
thank you. As for hospice and home health care, left my mom at home, bleeding lightly. We've spent 3 days in ER. There's no doubt in my mind, if we had home health care, would not have happened. We wouldn't have to go to the ER 3 times at an unbelievable expense. I know home health care was in my mom's house when she had colon surgery, colon cancer. Also, when she had her first artificial valve put in, or pig valve put in, home health was there. Always professional, always timely. And I'm past concerned about what's going on with my mom right now. I know you do phenomenal jobs. I've known Cindy and Terry forever. This is horrible, but we have to do what's best for the most. And we just cannot, and we tried to for the longest time, rationalize losing $1 million to $1.5 million. It's just, it's not sustainable. We kept hoping we'd find a white knight come and give us $1 million a year, or even 700,000 a year. We could run a deficit, but we can't eat that kind of money. It's not fair to all the rest of the taxpayers. Ironically enough, though, we will, most of us will need home health care. Most of us will need, most of us will need hospice at some point. And while government takes a lot of hits, oh, privatized is better and corporations are better, that may be the case in other places. That's not the case in Chippewa County. Our governmental agency, our health department, Karen and the nurses, phenomenal, and all the grief and abuse that you took during COVID. Because I did come over and visit many times, Karen, say, you know, how are they doing? And then she'd tell me about this nurse that got cursed out because, you know, whatever. I mean, it's been tough. And like I said, right now in my house, it's really tough because I'm doing all the home health care, plus trying to coach and teach and do this. And you know, and I've told Tracy Holt this many times, you all do the Lord's work. I mean, hospice, whether it be at the hospice house or whether it be in their home, preferably in their home. I had 2 grandparents who passed at home with hospice, and stepfather down in Henry Ford at hospice. And so we've all been through this, and just stinks. We did the best we could for as long as we could. And private companies are going to come in, and I promise you, you and your experience will be valued in the free market. I mean, look what the traveling nurses are making now. And my guess is, I don't know this for sure, but you're all vested in the retirement system, and you will get that and hopefully get higher wages in the private sector than you're getting in the public sector. But I hate it. I wish we could have done more, but we did all we could do. Any other discussion?
A motion for adjournment.
Motion for adjournment. Support. Support. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Very adjourned.